Hey y'all, this is TheControlledBurner, and it's time for a short review of M.I.7 by M.I.A. I truly never thought I'd see the day I was dreading over the release of a new album by British rapper M.I.A. She arguably is one of the most influential rappers of this generation with her experimentation in hip hop and electronic production, and also had very provocative and political writing, leading to some of the best albums and songs in these genres. There truly were very few who were doing what M.I.A was doing through the 2000s and early 2010s. However, especially in this decade, she's really been going downhill in multiple ways actually. But even ignoring that, the music has also been pretty poor from her, with the two standalone singles she dropped last year being incredibly weak in production and writing. So I truly went into M.I.7 with my expectations pretty low, especially when finding out it was going to be a Christian hip hop album focused on her finding religion in her life. And I guess I wasn't wrong in that because this sucks. But on the production side, we get a lot of attempts for these atmospheric sounds and trip hop and gospel music, but most of the time they come across very weak and boring. There's none of the energy you'd get from her previous work that comes across well, except for when she does try to do that on a song like Money with this basic breakbeat, robotic synths, the cash register sounds, and her high-pitched money, money, money vocals that make it all sound like a headache ghostwritten by Mr. Krabs. There are some decent moments here. I think the trip-hop beat on Prayer 777 is nice enough, and there's some really cool bounce on a track like Circle that could genuinely go off in a different context, but even these tracks get bogged down by the other problem of the album, M.I.A. Vocally, she seems pretty out of it here. It feels like the reverb they stacked on her voice is trying to do the heavy work and making her sound moved or inspired by the gospel. And lyrically, oh gosh. At its best, it's M.I.A explaining how Jesus has guided her spiritually, but it's in some very basic ways that don't really give any impact to this supposedly life-changing experience for her. And at its worst, M.I.A sounds like a small group leader trying to make Christ cool with the kids. When you pull it in again, I'm a ride for you, cause lust, jealousy, and envy is a vibes killer. The world will tremble if you fall for the snake. God does have a cape, that's not a cap. The war is done when microguns strike, and life is life. This ain't Fortnite. Even the tracklist itself feels wrong. This is technically an hour-long album with 16 tracks, but it feels inflated when you realize 7 of those tracks are just spoken word trumpet tracks. 7 trumpets, did you get it? And the last song here is literally called 30 Minutes of Silence, which is exactly what the tin says. The Kanye comparison feels really apt because this album overall just feels like an ego trip disguised as a religious awakening and a massive downfall towards an artist who I once respected. My faith in God may still be intact, but my faith in M.I.'s music and well-being has definitely reached its limbo.